ahead and start again.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With the lights.
Well, welcome back from commercial. Welcome back to the R.D.C. show. Derek.
Chris?
Richard? Brian. Special guest. Brian.
Still with us. I wanted to talk a little bit about the guns again. We'll bring back guns again. Talk about the shootings and, well, even even what New York's got the new one where you can only have 7 bullets in your clip. If you have any more than that, then you got to take them out and you'll be fined or whatever. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. I haven't read the law or not yet.
I think it's too late for that stuff. They've allowed too many guns to be out there.
You know, yeah, see, that's the thing, though. And Hannity's been saying, and I do agree with him on this, he's a gun owner, blah, 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 whatever, but he says you can reload a clip in like seconds. So why does it matter if there's 7 bullets in there when you can reload the clip in another second? You're going to lose, what, 1 second, 1 bullet? You know?
I think, in my opinion, the New York law is basically outside of some political spin that's really ineffective. For one,
right.
You know, if somebody's going to commit a crime, they don't care if there's more than 7 bullets in it. They're
going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
it's going to be slow.
It don't matter anyway. And but as far as limiting people's ability to protect themselves, I don't know. Yeah. I heard somebody, I can't remember if it was Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity, one of them said that talked about a guy with a bunch of pistols on him that all had 7 shots. So he just goes in there, bang, 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 7 shots in each pistol, throws it down, grabs the other one, and keeps shooting. Mm-hmm. You know, as far as somebody that's attacking, well, why couldn't you defend yourself that way?
Right.
I mean, if you're worried that your house is going to be attacked by a mob of people, you know, you're probably fortified.
You have 7 guns with 7 shots in them.
Right. You know? Right. So the argument on either side is pretty stupid, in my opinion. All this wrangling over the guns and the president and everything, I think that it was distasteful for the president to have those kids up there while he was pushing this legislation through. Yeah. At the same time, it was way the fuck over the line for the N.R.A. to use the president's children in an ad. That's inappropriate. Right. I don't feel that was. You could have gotten your message across in a much different way. You know,
you could have used.
You
him.
can't. Whatever.
That he used armed guards to protect them.
It doesn't matter. You know, it was really stupid, and couldn't you have come up with a better?
And seeing that's another thing, and I'm really
like I said, they could have just said the president uses armed security for his protection. Why is he so much better than you? Because he's president. He didn't have to bring his kids involved.
Yeah.
You didn't have to say his kids. Kids don't want the guards there. Trust me.
No,
they don't want them guards up in their life 24/7.
No, hell no.
They'd rather be normal kids having fun. But
yeah, I can't imagine that. Man.
That was pretty despicable. It's pretty low down.
Like I said, all the wrangling and all the bullshit on either side is just that. It's a bunch of bullshit. Mm-hmm. The root cause and what people aren't bringing up is that all these people who've been doing these shootings lately, including the people on the fucking military base, were all on psychotropic drugs, or however you say it, on medicine for
pills that they want to push.
Right, they're on pharmaceuticals. You know, so why are we talking about
marijuana, that? But you take these pills we make that are so much better to your asses.
We're blaming every damn thing under the sun but that. Have you noticed that? Yeah. We're saying it's violent movies, violent lyrics and music. It's violent video games. It's our violent culture.
Video games,
other cultures have all these things, but not that problem.
Right.
Did you see where the video game study though proved that to be wrong? Because video game people are more likely to be involved with people outside of the gaming thing because they make so many friends online and it just comes natural to us, which is true.
Yeah.
I would say an argument for or against really, if it does affect a percentage of the population.
You have to be a certain age to buy the video game. They ask to see your ID.
Yeah.
So if you're complaining about your kids playing it, well, you're buying and giving it to them.
Exactly.
I had to show my ID for the longest time buying games. I don't anymore because I'm obviously past over 18. Mm-hmm. But You know, I've seen them card people. It says mature rating.
Yep,
You got to be
I've seen
such
it.
age.
I've seen a few parents buy their kids Call of Duty and
then they complain
18.
about it. Video games are not the problems. Bullets are not the problems. It's people.
Yeah.
People have to start looking at other people and realizing when they're crazy. And one thing that drove me crazy this week, which I hope you caught, did you hear how they're blaming Obama's... they all went off on Obama's so-called mandate where doctors ask you if you have guns. You can go back to the R.D.C. show and watch. I forget what episode it was, but I talk about going to my new doctor a year ago, and she asked me if I had weapons, and I thought it was the terrorist.
Yeah.
Was I a terrorist? It's in that video. If you go back and watch it, I say right in there that I wondered if there was a tag on my name because the first thing she asked me was, do I have weapons? So it's already been going on. And now Obama says it, and all of a sudden it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Your doctors can't be looking out for the patients. Well, isn't it true that if doctors had been paying attention to the last people that did this crazy shit, this problem wouldn't have happened? The kid that shot up Sandy Hook, counselors at the school and that knew he was messed up and did nothing. And the guy that shot up the Batman movie had sent letters to his counselor or his therapist telling her what he was going to do.
Yeah.
But she didn't respond or open it up in time.
I can't remember. It was an episode of Frontlines that talked about how much prescription drugs are given to...
Well, yeah, the way they try to cover that today, they go, "Oh, you're having a bad day, Chris? Oh, well, here, take that and a glass of water." They don't actually figure out what's going on.
Another thing I'd like to share with you guys is one of my best all-time fishing buddies that I ever had, Jeremy. Good friend of mine, real good guy, solid guy.
Oh, yeah.
Known him for a long time. Yeah. Seemed like a very normal person. Had the same kind of struggles and shit we all have.
Played poker with
stuff like that. Yeah, he was a cool guy. But dude, he was bipolar, and he had an episode, and it was really bad, and it caused him to get in a lot of trouble, and he got locked up, and they started giving him all these prescription medicines, and basically, for all intents and purposes, it was as if he was a hamster. And they were simply trying out all this new shit.
Yeah.
Hey, we got this new drug. It's untried. Well, you want to try it? Yeah. And they were giving him, and he would go from bad to worse to, I mean, really way the fuck out there. And then he would come back for a little while, and he seemed like he was okay, and then he would get worse. I'm like, man, is this medication helping you or not? What the hell?
Yeah, right.
And they didn't know. The doctors are playing a guessing game. So when it comes to all this shit, they don't even know.
No,
we already know that kids commit suicide, like, was it 4 or 5 times more when they're on Ritalin and shit in school than they would normally? It's just, you know, they don't have these long-term effects, and the people that are making all the fucking money don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Above bullets and guns and terrible things happening, that's where I would start, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, end this hysteria, because the argument on either side is pretty ridiculous. It really is. You know, it's true.
It's just a way to keep everyone arguing at each other.
Exactly.
They're taking your guns. They're going to keep them. We are
shit.
coming for them. We're going to get you.
Bullshit.
Keeping everybody fighting.
One thing I think is interesting is if you really want to get something done with the Republican Party, then just use the gun lever on them. Because they are so visceral when it comes to that. If anything threatens that at all, you get an immediate response, and it's a big response. Yeah, and not just that, but the people who vote like that too. You know what I mean? So
they do, don't
they? You energize. So you say, all right, more gun laws or free health care. More gun laws or higher taxes. They'll always pick the other.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
That's how you win with Republicans. You have it now. You have their.
In the end, I don't think anything happens. I don't think anything changes.
No.
I don't think anybody loses one gun. What's going on right now is people are flipping out. The N.R.A. is making a bunch of money. Gun sales are making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And by the way,
if anybody is done
by the way,
good, it's definitely the manufacturers in the N.R.A.
By the way, hold on one second.
Well,
Republicans,
record
sales. Don't Republicans hate unions? Yeah. Don't they despise unions and everything they're about?
Yeah.
Pretty much. The N.R.A. to me is the biggest union out there. It's an organization.
That is a masquerade.
It's an organization you pay money to.
It's a masquerade. It's a union. It's a lobby for the gun manufacturers. All the major gun manufacturers have big stake in N.R.A. far more than any of the members that are a part of it. They decide what happens, and the N.R.A. has The NRA stopped other departments of the U.S. government from doing any research on what a gun does to a person when it hits them. They were doing a study. I want to say it was like the CDC was doing a study on what bullets and stuff, what the damage does to a human body. Doing research, and NRA says you cannot do this research. And they threatened up and down, and they stopped it in the middle. So because they don't want this information getting out there to people. Yeah. They don't want people to know what guns actually do.
The biggest, dirtiest, corrupt organization.
Yeah, call it what you want. I would call it a union too.
They're a giant union, dude. Yeah. They're a giant union, and the Republicans, Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, they all love them. They're their best buddies.
Yeah.
And you guys really love a union.
One thing I do gotta say about the shootings, and as a person who is known for being a conspiracy type person, and I am, but because I believe in one doesn't mean I believe in them all. I think that all you despicable motherfuckers who come out with these Sandy Hook is a conspiracy thing.
Rush
go down there.
Rush was saying
take your fucking ass down there and talk that shit. Go down there and say that.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Talk to some of them parents, huh?
Well, what I didn't like hearing Rush and even Hannity at some point talk about how the families are using their devastation because a lot of them are backing what Obama said and they don't like it.
I guarantee you know what? If that was my family, I'd kick your fucking
parents
teeth
got the right to say whatever the fuck they want right now.
Right. Oh, yeah.
If those parents want to come out and say nobody should ever have a gun, then they got the right to say that.
That little about the one mother that had the open casket thing, and she had the people from the government, like the mayor and people, come down and look because it was I think it was a boy who had his bottom jaw shot off and one of his hands completely shot off, and that was what they could see in an open casket. So that she made it a point that it was an open casket so everybody could see what happened. Yeah. Go talk to that person.
Right.
Go talk to that person mother. And say that's a conspiracy.
And the sad thing is, all those kids and the tragedies become is a fucking pawn for both sides.
Yes, it's despicable
the way
that they've been
treated.
Despicable.
And it's fucking a bunch of bullshit.
Ridiculous.
Those kids' lives were better than that. They should be cherished, not be exploited on either side of the aisle, and they are. And you got people like Hannity and Limbaugh and Lord Ingram. I hear all you guys talk all this bullshit.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank God that Rush doesn't have any kids. Because there must be a God to make sure there was no more of your fucking punk ass walking the earth. But the other ones that have kids, Laura Ingram and Hannity and all the bullshit I heard you guys say, you would feel a lot different if that was your children that were locked in that school getting shot. You might change your tune a bit, you fucking punk bastards.
They probably would.
You know, the next person that wants to go crazy and make a name for himself, just go down to whatever studio they're at.
No, you don't want to advocate violence.
No.
Put a burlap bag over their head and whip that fucker with a chain.
Sting them with cigarette butts.
Yeah, just fucking
they talk about these parents that lost their kids because they're all backing Obama's plans and how their minds are messed up because they're grief-distraught. Fuck you, man. They lost their kids. They had the right to say whatever they
You hear
want.
the Satan worshiper thing? It was a satanic
Yeah.
clan that killed the kids?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's all kinds of stories.
Look, man, if you
make an excuse,
the bottom line is,
look,
if there is such a thing as a demon, that kid was a demon. He was a messed up individual who wanted to shed so much pain to so many people and make it hurt for a long time.
Like you said, exactly maybe he thought he was a savior. Maybe if his mom was a real proper, he thought maybe he was sparing them the end of the earth.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. I would hate to. I don't know.
We'll
Whatever it was, the kid was fucked up and
Yeah,
probably on some pharmaceutical shit. Anyway.
But there was that guy in Japan, you know, that went crazy, or China. I'm sorry, not Japan, but over in China, who went insane, thought the end of the world was coming, ran to a school, stabbed 23 kids with a knife. Not one of them died. They all survived. Needed stitches and were scared, but they lived. So all the people that tell me if he wanted to do it, he could do it with a knife. I heard Handy say that many times. What are they going to do, start outlawing knives? Well, a knife ain't going to kill fucking people that quickly. That takes time, and if you're stabbing the shit out of somebody, unless you're a moron and gonna watch somebody else do it, then you deserve to die. But if someone's in here trying to stab Christopher, I'm gonna be whooping that dude's ass while he's trying to stab him. I ain't gonna wait for him to get up and come at me. Now, if it's a gun, he can go pop, pop, pop.
Right.
But I'm still saying that guns are not the problem. It's people. We have to pay attention to people and show people love And when you see the people that are messed up and hurting, try to help them. There's a lot of people out there. Look, let me give you an example. My boy Brian here. Weaker-minded people could really be messed up with what's going on, Brian. I'm gonna bring out some of Brian's personal shit. Not to break you up, Brian. Probably didn't even know how to talk about this. Brian's job, so fucked with his mind a week ago, or what was it, a couple days ago. Told him
Friday,
they're renting the gas station he works at to some Arabs or whatever, Indians. So Brian's out of a job. After a job he's had for 3 years, been working 40 hours, been doing good, and he was one of their best people. They just come and say, hey, well, we're deciding we're going to make our money because we're going to rent it to them and get paid on the side and not have to worry about any responsibility. And Brian was cool with these people that own the gas station. Shit, they were going to bring him to fights and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, that a weaker-minded person in today's world might freak out real crazy. Brian, he just says, fuck it. Roll duty, let's see what's going down.
There ain't no point, man.
But added stress like that to all kinds of poor people right now can make them snap.
Dude, I've been on that boat before, buddy, so it's like, it ain't no fucking thing to me no more.
Exactly.
Fucking Sullivan's, dude, come on now.
Yeah.
Except the last time that happened to me, they gave me like, what, 2.5 months? I was like, yeah, I'm done, fuck y'all, I'll go do something else. Then again,
Times
I
are
was only
tough.
14.
People can snap and be crazy. You got to pay attention. You see somebody that's hurting like that.
People,
Everybody talked about seeing that kid was hurting after the fact.
Right.
After he killed everybody, everybody goes, yeah, we saw he was hurting. We saw he was alone. He felt sheltered. And the kid wasn't poor. He had a nice house.
Yeah.
Mom had money. Obviously, they had guns. So it wasn't that, but you can be rich or poor, and you can still be hurting.
she taught him how to shoot.
And it's part of America. You know, we talked a while back, is America lost? Because we don't have that common good looking out for people, like we said.
Right.
You know, it's
Well, it
America
is
lost. We
basically
were kids.
just
We
that.
could walk
It's the
down
fact
to
that
the
you
damn.
can't be true with nobody anymore.
If
You
I
can't.
lived here,
We're all fucking.
if I lived
bullshit.
here when I was growing up, me and Christopher lived here when we were growing up. Dude, we'd be walking from here to Blockbuster on Saginaw to go to the gas station to buy our mom a pack of smokes and grab some pops. There ain't no fucking way in hell I would let Ivy walk from here to Blockbuster at her age. Shit, me and Christopher were doing that shit at 10 and 11. Going up there with a note, my mom needs some cigs.
I remember that shit.
Yeah. And she gave us a couple dollars in quarters, and man, we thought we was in heaven buying candy bars and shit. Back when you could buy 2 or 3 of them for $1.
Walking on
play some video games. Shit, we had it. We were walking, just walking around, all kinds of people around us. Shit, we were young. I never let my kid do that today. But that's why I say, you know, part of America's lost. We don't look out for each other. We don't pay attention. And we have to stop things like that from happening. It's not taking people's guns away, because all that's going to do,
not gonna help.
that's just going to piss people off.
Yeah.
That's going to make shit a lot worse. You
See,
got
either side doesn't matter. The hysteria on either side doesn't help a bit.
Yeah, my whole thing was that either go all in or all out. And there's no way we're going to go all out because there's too many of them out there anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well make it so it's legal for everyone to have a gun and defend themselves to whatever's going to be happening around these days, man. Because you see shit happening anytime.
Let's see what you guys think about this.
I've thought about getting one myself now just because.
Well, I have too, just because. But what do you think about armed guard being in school? You got a young boy in school.
I don't necessarily think he needs to be in the school, but I think they should have one on the premises somewhere. Yeah.
Did you know there was 3 armed guards at Columbine?
Right, I did hear about that.
There was 5 armed guards at Virginia Tech.
Maybe they knew what the armed guards' duties were doing. And they knew.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, shot.
Exactly. If somebody wants to kill
Firearms
somebody,
are not a deterrent for people who want to commit suicide.
Yeah. Right.
You ever heard of suicide by a cop? So the whole argument that having armed guards at schools is horseshit. In fact, you could go in there and say, hey, you know what? I'm a crazy fuck. I want to do some harm. Go over to one corner of the building, start a fire. Now everybody's paying attention to that. I go in, get the gun I know is in the school, and wreak havoc with it.
See, now my daughter is a high school. She's in the 10th grade. And what she said when I brought this up to her, Christopher, she said one of the kids would steal it and use it on somebody else.
Yeah.
She said it would just be bait sitting there for him. And that came out of her mouth like that, without hesitation. She says, no way. I said, why wouldn't you want an armed guard at school? Because, Dad, that's just an invitation for someone to steal that gun and use it.
On YouTube, as a matter of fact, there's a video of a guy.
People get crazy at school.
People getting harassed by the police because they're open carry and they're in like Ponderosa or whatever. I seen one of those guys at Speedway. And I just thought that was so ridiculous. You know, he walks in with his gun on his hip, and the type of holster he had was just the kind where you could just draw it out. I could have walked up behind him and had it in my hand in seconds. Yeah. That does not make you safer. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Well, I was going to bring up a point at Everett. Remember our principal getting beat up?
Yeah.
Remember? I mean, our own principal got beat up.
Imagine if he had a gun and they took it. They beat his ass, take the gun.
And then after that, they got like all them big ass security guards. Remember?
Who was the dude that pulled out the pellet gun in Mr. Hackett's class? It was the hour before mine. He pinned a couple of workers to the floor.
Don't be talking names anyway.
I don't remember his name. But in Mr. Hackett's class, because it was like
H's class.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's long retired.
You know? I don't know.
But he was on the second floor and overlooked the roof on the foyer, right? And there was a couple of maintenance workers up there doing some air conditioner work. Well, he had a pellet gun, and he got it all the way up to the second floor and was in class and saw them guys out there. And he just pulled it out. He's like, "Get down! Get down!" And he keeps screaming it, right? He keeps saying it, and they fucking tackled his ass and everything, dude. And he got kicked out and fucking missed like a whole year of school, but he came back. I don't remember what his name is. I want to say it was Jamie, but I don't remember what his name was. Yeah. But you know, I seen a fucking handgun in Mr. Peterson's class in a dude's book bag. Yeah. I know that was the butt of a fucking handgun I saw. And I was like, man, I hope that's like a track and field gun. You know what the fuck is that?
Yeah, everyone no joke, man.
So they've been around, but really, it doesn't. You know, arming the teachers and all that shit, as far as that goes, that is not going to make the shit any safer, man.
So I got the cheer.
It's pretty simple.
I think they should just have the local police just look after the schools more. I mean, why can't they do that? I mean, I know there's other shit to do.
The problem is we can't.
Not all of them do
if
shit.
If you do that,
yeah, exactly. Fat bastards that they have out there.
So we guard the schools and everything. Can we guard everybody on their way
home? Not
guard
it, just patrol it.
Okay, so you got some protection, more protection around the school.
Just a little bit.
A little bit more protection than we have now.
But it doesn't mean
it's not going to stop anything. I know.
Just
I
extra
understand
protection,
that, man.
I mean, right. What I'm saying is like whack-a-mole. If we can't make a fucking school into a fortress, we can't make a mall into a fortress. We can't make a university into a fortress. We can't make a movie theater into a fortress. We can't do all this and then attach them with tunnels so nobody could ever possibly be. You know, I don't think that's the solution.
When that happens, they'll be charging us for air because we'll be living.
In my opinion, if we can't learn how to treat each other with respect and dignity and treat each other the way you want to be treated, then we fucking deserve to do this shit. I have the luxury of
population control right
there.
there.
I have the luxury of saying that though, and I'm not ignorant to that fact. Life is fragile, and it can change like that for any one of us. Mm-hmm. So never think you're so fucking great.
A little bit of population control there, huh?
It could be, man. We're getting dumber, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like we said, what was that movie? It's gonna be reality. I remember
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
reality. The other day, dude.
It's reality. Here we come.
You know, and it was fun. No, I'll talk about that another time. Man. I was gonna say, that's funny.
It's supposed to be, you know.
That'd be more a religion thing. What I'm thinking
of. A documentary.
So.
Well, I guess that's about it for this topic. We talked about a few things. Hopefully we didn't lose you, but we'll be back with From the Hit. Peace.
All right, see you.